Racing action on Tim's Corner Motorsports is presented by Pache Motors, the largest Ram truck dealer in Atlantic Canada. Browse their inventory online at pachemotors.com. Tranquility. Help for anxiety is only a click away. Learn more by visiting tranquility.app. Finish Line Vinyl Design, the official decal supplier of Tim's Corner Motorsports. Like them on Facebook at facebook.com/finishline vinyl design. And by CB Warren's Auto Care.
CTWE wrestler The Mac.
And I'm Showtime Stevie Stamos.
Have you ever dreamed of owning your own race car and taking it out for a test drive? Well, thanks to our friends that Rent a Race Car, you can!
Visit www.rentaracecarne.com for all the details on how you can take one of these babies out to Stafford Motor Speedway. We'll see you at the races.
Touchdown! The glass has shattered, the adult beverages are ice cold, and we've cracked a couple of Trulies up here in the production booth, easy enough for me to say. Paul Strickland Jr. up here, Mike on the Rock is here as well, Dylan Langile here for the Tim's Corner Motorsports Weekly Racing Series, round trois. I'm going to learn French by the end of the night. Pretty exciting for that. Race number 1 of 2 races here tonight. We got the Showtime Cup Series making their Vidane TV debut tonight at 9:15 Eastern. Right after the Tim's Corner Motorsports race. Dylan, how we doing tonight, brother?
Fantastic. Just cracked open a cold bottle of water. Ready for round number 3. The big snow is not here in Nova Scotia. I know down your way, Mr. Showtime, you got to get your shovel out after this and get ready to shovel all that stuff. But we got another exciting race coming up here at the Oxford Plains Speedway, round trois. I don't know what round is in French. I am doing lessons, but I haven't reached that point yet. Mikey, what's going on, friend?
She's blowing a gale over here on the Rock, but we got a couple Newfoundlanders peppered in here. Lots of Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and a few from the United States and PEI. We got a big, big night ahead of us for round number trois. Did I say that correctly? Trois?
Oui. Well, realistically, boys, if we were racing at the real Oxford Plains Speedway, we would probably be snowed out tonight with a big nor'easter working its way up the East Coast, but we are here virtually, and you can see qualifying is just tapering off here in just a moment, and it looks like Mr. Matthew Barkhouse will be grabbing the pole position. Ryan Messer, Ashton Tucker, winner last week, Chris Roma, Roger Down, Chris Ewing, Dave Cassidy, and Richard Drake are going to be making the show right away in their qualifying time. Like the previous races, we'll have 4 heats, about 12 laps apiece. Top 4 move on to the big show tonight, 75 laps. We'll have 2 hooligan last chance qualifying races. The top 4 also move on to the big show tonight. And we're going to dive right into things, not messing around. We're going into heat race number 1 for round number 2 of the TCM Weekly Racing Series. And we're going to kick off with Cody Moorcroft and Joey Stiers there on row number 1.
On the inside of row number 2, the 41 machine from Torbay, Newfoundland, Labrador, Jason Goss, and his partner in crime on the outside is the 38 machine of Travis Broma.
Waiting for him to make his way out to his race car. Tanton Wooldridge going to start 5th. Outside of him, Daniel Vitch, the number 29.
I forgot that you were going to be all in the show tonight.
My show. I make the rules.
Caden's Frizzle in the 196 car back here. Jake Scrivens as well making their racing appearance tonight.
And still not out of the pits right now, Jonathan Pollard in the 07. Hopefully he can make it in time. Boys, we're not going to see Ryan Messer, Ashton Tucker, and Matthew Barkhouse and a few others in the heat races here. So they're going to be sitting pretty here watching the show. So a little bit of extra lap time for these drivers. So we'll see who makes it to the show, who gets kicked over to the hooligan race, But we are going to get set here as the pace car has exited the 80 machine of Cody Moorcraft. We'll have the hammer here as the lights are out on that pace car. A little Mustang action on the front. Joey Stiers from the United States, I believe. Illinois is in the 23 machine on the outside.
All right, we're going to fire off here. Heat race number 1 is underway. You were just mentioning there, Mike, Ashton Tucker, Matthew Barkhouse. They're actually 1-2 in the point standings for the weekly racing series, and they're going to build it up with their qualifying efforts as well. And there's a couple of contingency awards with the qualifying in the TCM weekly racing series. Last time we were here at Oxford, Jason Goss, he was one fast son of a gun. I don't want to call him reckless, but let's just say his bumper was used quite often to move his way up through the field. And again, DQ points they allocate, and that could get you a black flag by the end of the night. Paul, we got a little bit of action there for that second position. 4 people are moving on to the big show tonight.
Oh, now he exits, right?
Yeah, now
throw it to him, and now he's eating meatballs over in the corner.
Beef jerky.
Travis Roma is all over the back bumper, that 41 machine of Jason Goss, and we got a bit of a battle for a top 4 sitting on the outside right now. Daniel Vitch in the 29 machine really going to be looking to try to get past Joey Stiers for that transfer spot for the main show here tonight, but our top 4 kind of roped together here and trying to check out, but Daniel Vitch trying to stay with the leaders here and keep an eye on that 4th position. That is the precious transfer spot. Roma still on the back bumper of that 41.
It's pretty important to keep your position no matter where you are on the track, especially if you are in that 4th, 5th slot. 4th will be going on to the big show tonight. That's Joey Stiers in the Napa 23, but Vitch would have a front row start in one of the last chance races, which would really help to move on to the 75-lap main event tonight. It looks like the conditions are pretty much the same as last week. The cars were slipping and they were sliding and slamming into each other in the corners. Looks like we're probably going to see pretty much the same thing as you can see some of the weather conditions on the screen. So take a look there. It's a mix of sun and cloud, and that's going to set it up for some fun racing this evening.
With 4 laps to go here now. That time is a ticking for Daniel Vitch, trying to rope in the 23. The 23 with about 2 or 3 car lengths now on the 29 machine. The 29 really got to send it in here. Looking at the times, Joey Stiers has a pretty fast machine, but he's caught up in that traffic with Travis Roma. He is one of the quickest machines on the track right now, next to Cody Moorcraft with a 15:282 versus a 15:27.
Setting some fast lap times with 2 laps to go. Moorcroft, Goss, Roma, and Stiers, they're in the magic transfer spots. Don't know if Vitch is going to have enough time to catch up as we get the white flag now. 1 more to go in heat race number 1. And all I got to do is just pace around calmly. Those 4 guys, they're moving on to the 75-lapper tonight, along with the other cars that have already qualified. And Cody Moorcroft will go across the start-finish line in first. He grabs the first checkered flag of the evening, winning heat race number 1. Goss, Roma, and Stiers moving on to the big show tonight. Vitch, Frizzell, Scrivens, Woolridge, and Pollard will have to duke it out in one of the last chance qualifiers.
I know at these TCM events, you really want to qualify in that top 8 and not get involved with the mess with the heat races and the last chance qualifiers. One driver we haven't talked about a lot, Ryan Messer, missed week number 1 due to internet issues or something, but had a great run, and he's landed himself on the front couple of rows there once we get into the main. But we are getting set again. A look at the 33 machine. Dylan, what a beautiful ride. Winter edition. Brett Suggs is going to get the pole here for heat race number 2. On his outside, the 89 machine of Conrad Murphy.
I like the Nightmare Before Christmas edition on that car. Looking at row number 3, that's Wade Croswell in the 67. He was near the front a couple of times last week. And Derek Gates in that 024 car on his outside.
And next up in the 5th position, TJ Medor in the 7 car. He's going to have the 8 machine of Ryan Twinham on the outside.
Looking back further, Caleb Burkhart, street stock racer in New Brunswick, and Tony Wright in the 09 car, will be at the tail end of heat race number 2. Doesn't matter where you start, it's where you finish. And you want to finish in the top 4 in this heat race to move on to the 75 lapper tonight. Round number 3 of the TCM Weekly Racing Series. One of the final races of 2020, Mike, before we go to a little Christmas break and have a bunch of screech and a bunch of fun stuff around Christmas time. We got to sort out some heat racing first. What's that?
You buying some Newfoundland Screech up there in Nova Scotia?
They sell her at the LC, but before I go there, we got to talk about this race, and Brett Suggs off to a tremendous start. Green flag is out, and already Gates is fanning on the outside trying to make that lane work. You can see a little bit of rubber on the ground, Mike. It's going to eventually really settle in there to maybe have a little something towards the end.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on the outside in the early sets of the night. He's going to try to tuck in here, almost getting into the rear quarter there, but definitely a one line right now. Not a lot of rubber up the mid line of the track. The 89 pushing up just a little bit, a little slippery there coming out of the corner. But look at the 67 of Wade Craswell now putting a lot of pressure on the 89. He's coming on strong and taking a peek to the inside, but here at Oxford, a little bit of a tangly track here. You see the 89 hitting that inside curb. Dylan, trying to keep the drivers innocent and truthful here tonight, and hopefully we don't see any carnage from it.
Well, usually the last chance qualifiers of the race that get really tangly. Heat race has been pretty tame for the most part out of the first 2 we've had so far in the TCM Weekly Racing Series. Halfway through heat race number 2, it's still the Brett Suggs show in front with Conrad Murphy in front of Wade Craswell. And right behind, maybe a little bit of action now, picking up for the 4th position as TJ Medor is holding down P4, but he's got Ryan Twinham all over the back. And if you remember watching this last time, and there's the move now for 4th place. So Twinham goes underneath the 7 car to grab P4. That was a driver who had to really fight to try and get in the show in one of the last chance qualifiers, and he overdrove a corner and eventually had to watch the rest of the race on Verdane TV.
We'll see what happens here now as we count down the laps, 5 to go. I'm sure TJ Medor is not finished here, trying to reel in that 8, like you said. Ryan Twinham picking up that precious spot for the transfer here as the leaders. Brett Suggs checks out. Conrad Murphy got a little bit of a gap on Wade Craswell, but Suggs throwing down some fast lap times, some of the fastest times we've seen in the heat races so far, with a 15:17 here as he checks out about a quarter of a track.
Yeah, he was just on the outside of the top 8 in qualifying, so he's fast. He just wasn't fast enough to secure his ticket to make the big show tonight. 2 laps to go for Brett Suggs, one of the lone Americans racing in this series, but it's great to have drivers from all over the place. You can see Twinham again putting some pressure now on 3rd place Wade Craswell. All those drivers will be moving on if they keep their positions and don't wreck each other. White flag is in the air, and looking back, Medor has fallen quite a bit from that battle for 4th, and Twinham again sticking his nose to try and see if he can move up to 3rd. Oh, Murphy rides up the track, hits the curb a little bit. They're all going to cross the start-finish line. In fact, Twinham sideways. Brett Suggs wins heat race number 2. Conrad Murphy, Wade Craswell, Ryan Twinham on the way to the big show tonight. Medor, Gates, Wright, and Urquhart will have to try and race their way in through a last chance qualifier.
Twinham crossing the finish line with a little style there, a slide job right across the finish line, right at the right time. But we are gridding for heat race number 3. And look at that, Daddy Mac, the 30 machine. Keith McClellan on the pole for this one. On the outside, it's going to be 16 machine of John Gahan.
Row number 2, Brad Hayes in the 17 car and John Byron in the 57 starting 4th.
And in the 5th position, the 9 machine of Campbell Delaney. He's going to have the 2 car of Todd Cousins to the outside.
From Newfoundland, Ryan Walsh and John Fitzpatrick at the back of this field. Pretty surprising because John came into this 3rd in points, and he said he was probably going to keep the same setup as he had to get back on the podium again. So John has got his work cut out tonight to try and make the big show tonight. The thing, too, if you have a really bad race, or in the case of Ryan Messer, if you didn't make a race at all for whatever reason, you can drop one of the races, Mike. So let's say if you had a couple of wins, but you had a 10th finish, well, you can drop that 10th place finish and it doesn't go to your points total.
Exactly, and that's what we were talking about earlier with Ryan Messer missing week number 1. Had a big finish on week number 2, so he's already in good position for tonight on the front couple of rows there. I believe he finished 3rd in qualifying, so we'll see what Messer has for us. Matthew Barkhouse and Ashton Tucker still dominating up front, but we are getting set. Pace car is exited, lights are off. 30 machine of Keith McClellan takes the green, and we are off. But look at that, John Gahan all the way on the outside and trying to look to the bottom, but the 17 has got the door closed. Brad Hayes got to battle with Gahan for that position number 2, and it looks like Gahan could slide back quite a bit here if he doesn't tuck in, and he will jump in front of the 9 machine of Campbell Delaney.
Two-wide racing right up until they got out of turn number 4. Now it's mostly single file as another car, the 2, Cousins, high, wide, and handsome, falls behind Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick now underneath the 19 of Ryan Walsh. Hang on to her. He was pretty crooked coming out of turn 4, but he's able to hang on to it.
I think Walsh was thinking, I got to get to the bottom. I don't care how I get there, but I'm getting there in front of the 2 car.
That was scary.
2 Islanders at the back. John Fitzpatrick going to try to make it look good here tonight, trying to be a hard charger. Had a big win, or big finish in the top 3 in week number 2, but Fitzpatrick, we're looking at him now in the 78 coming on strong. Looking to the inside of John Byron in the 57 machine, 157. Fitzpatrick looks like he has a fast machine here as now he gets to the inside quarter of the 157. Looks like he'll take that spot away as the 157 washes up the track.
Ooh, smooth as butter. And when we came into tonight's races, John was actually only 1 point behind Matthew Barkhouse for second. So you can essentially say that he was in the top 2 in points. So he's been very consistent early on in the TCM Weekly iRacing Series. And now he is chomping at the bit to try and get to that final transfer spot. You can see Campbell Delaney right in front of John Fitzpatrick. Delaney, he was a driver who's had to fend off a couple of other times, a few other drivers, as he's been in the hot seat a few times. Fitzpatrick dives deep. Delaney's up the track a little bit, and there's the move there from Fitzpatrick for 4th. That's the transfer spot. Will Delaney, he does, he throws a block on him. Wow, but Fitzpatrick able to stiff arm him on the curb and gets around the 9 car.
It's almost like he had a little bit of a slingshot off that inside curve. Sometimes that could go terribly wrong, but Fitzpatrick made it work as he used that curve for a little bit of extra grip as he got across the front of the 9 car of Campbell Delaney. But Delaney's going to have some work cut out for him as 3 laps left to go here. They are going to go quick here at Oxford as Keith McClellan, Daddy Mac, the 30 machine, is going to come around for 2 laps to go here as he crosses over, and it looks like clear sailing for the 30 machine of Keith McClellan.
Yeah, top 4 is all pretty spread out now with McClellan dominating this race. Brad Hayes in 2nd, John Gahan in the 16 car in 3rd, and Fitzpatrick stealing 4th position from Campbell Delaney as we're on the last lap. Delaney is very far away from Fitzpatrick, so that means he will have to go to the last chance qualifier. And winning heat race number 3, Mac Daddy, Keith McClellan in the Bud Light machine grabs a checkered flag. Hayes, Gahan, and Fitzpatrick going to our big event tonight. Delaney, Byron, Cousins, and Walsh, well, they've got a couple hooligan races coming up to try and get their ticket into.
You got to give it up for the Islander boy, Johnny Fitzpatrick, come from the back rear tail of that field. Hard charger to get past the 4th. He had some beautiful moves there, but great job by John Fitzpatrick to make the big event tonight. But we are going back now into another one here, and it looks like heat race number 4 is being set, and sitting on the pole, the 5 machine of Craig Tully. He's going to add the 97 of Riley Duncan to the outside.
Corey Howlett in the 57 car next to Nick Pache in the 51.
And on the inside of row number 3, Mark Williams, and he'll have the lone lady here tonight from CBN Newfoundland. That's Chantel Pottle in the 05.
Todd Tufts rolling in 7th, and I believe that's it. There's another car showing up that says T2. I'm assuming that's from the Terminator, so
could be a ringer
showing up causing havoc here.
Tim wanted to join.
Maybe he can be kind of like the Days of Thunder car. Last week, Mike, Chantel had a heck of a race in that last chance qualifier to get her ticket into the big show. So we'll see if she can actually get in through the heat races, or she'll have to pull off a repeat performance. And have a spectacular race. And I like the Spongebob paint scheme there. A little Christmas there too.
A little Christmas SpongeBob. She was showing that off earlier online. She does a lot of paint schemes herself, so she is available. Anybody looking to get a car done up for some of the races over the holidays, she offers that services, as well as some of the other ones out there. I believe Mike Alexander does a couple of these cars as well. So great to see some of these designs that we're seeing. But pace car as exited, it's going to be all up to the 5 machine of Craig Tully as he gets him going on the green, and Ronnie Duncan kind of squirreled over into the 5, but managed to correct it. He dives in and secures that position number 2, and looks like in the 4th position, 51, Nick Pache really got to slide in there, or he's going to lose that spot pretty quick, but he does manage to jump to the bottom.
And that's the key thing with Oxford. You're pretty much turning left the entire time, and the bottom lane is the lane you want to be side, especially in some heat races. There's not enough rubber laid down, and even during the big shows, it tends to be not the best lane to try and move up. Oh, you can see the 72 of Tufts riding high on the track, and that will open the door for Pottle. So Pottle now is in 5th position, and that is a chance now for her to catch up to Pache to grab 4th, and then to move on to the 75-lap main event tonight.
Yeah, she had the power move in week number 2 in the last chance qualifier, so I believe Pottle does not want to go back into that situation as she tries to throw out the reel here and try to reel in Nick Pache, who's in the transfer spot in the 51 machine, but quite a gap between the 2 machines as Pottle tries to throw down the throttle here to try to bridge the gap here between herself and the 51. Craig Tully kind of checking out, lots of spread between all of our top 4. Everybody easy coasting right now as we cross flags. 6 laps gone, 6 to go.
Well, that's one thing I've been noticing, Mike, is the leaders tend to check out completely in these heat races. There hasn't been a lot of action up front, but again, it's a heat race. You don't want to use up all your stuff. The damage would not apply to your car coming up. And for anyone checking in tonight, watching on Tim's Corner Motorsports at Vidane TV, thanks again for joining us. Dylan Angel, Mike James, and Paul Showtime Strickland in the replay booth, and an occasional driver lineup. He's eating beef jerky and having some seltzers to try and get in the Christmas spirit. But tonight, though, we've got we got open setups, and we got a little bit of an opening here for the battle for first as we're trying to set up the dinner table for the big race tonight. The 97 of Riley Duncan has caught up to the 5 of Craig Tully.
I believe he did get underneath the 5 machine as the 97 applies lots of pressure to the back bumper. The 5 machine of Craig Tully has a full rear view mirror of Riley Duncan coming on strong. I believe Duncan wants that position in the main event as these guys are not only vying for the show, they're also vying for precious position in the grid for the big night.
And there's money on the line. Eventually, these guys will get a payout. These guys and girls, I should say, will get a little bit of money. So every position counts towards the end of the deal. We're going to have some halfway awards as well, thanks to Highway 311 Market. They're getting ready for Christmas time as we're on the white flag lap. And it looks like Pottle will not be able to get close enough to the 51 of Pache. In front, it will be Tully getting the checkered flag in front of Riley Duncan, Hallett. And for 4th, it will go to Nick Pache. That means Pottle, Tufts, Williams, and TCM official number 2 will have to go on to the last chance qualifiers.
Could that be a white stig?
What's that?
You don't know what the white stig is?
No.
Oh my God. Come on. Go Google it. Who's the mystery driver?
Who is the microphone assassin? Little Trailer Park Boys.
All right, we're getting ready for a last chance for romance, aka hooligan race, Dylan. And look at that, very fast machine on the front row. Joey Stiers into 23. Or how did Johnny Fitzpatrick?
I'm thinking, did they only take the top 3 this time?
I think we fell asleep at the wheel.
No, they did top 4 before.
Someone didn't read the memo, because we got some high contenders here in the hooligan race. But either way, on the front row,
okay,
looks like Joey Stiers, who we thought was in the main event, as well as the Islander of the 78 machine of John Fitzpatrick, are going to have to fight to get into the main event here tonight. And 2 fast machines on the front row.
Big front row there is Daniel Vitch and Campbell Delaney, 2 younger drivers in row 2.
And in the 5th spot, Cadence Frizzell in the 196. He's got Johnny Byron in the 157 on the outside.
Jay Scrivens and Todd Cousins, 7th and 8th on the grid. Tanton Woolridge and Ryan Walsh at the back. Kind of looking over my notes, Mikey. Yeah, we messed up. Top 3 moved on to the show. So that means Fitzpatrick, as hard as they were driving, and only got them to the front row here for the hooligan races. So apologize for a little miscommunication. It's the holidays. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm coasting at work anyways. Green flag is back out, and Stiers grabs the lead. So top 3, I think, are moving on to the big show tonight.
Delaney hanging on the outside, trying to tuck in here as he is going to hang out to dry as the 2 machine of Todd Cousins is going to bridge that gap. But we could go 3 wide as we do. Look at this, Vitch and Cousins and Delaney going 3 wide, getting a little heated here in the last chance qualifier.
Oh, Delaney turned around, but he saves it. Holy mackerel. That is a save and a half from Campbell Delaney. That's going to throw him all the way back, though. But holy moly, this hooligan race is living up to the reputation. It's wild and wacky.
Oh, and the 4 machine
wait a minute.
jumps in
we
front
not
of
done
Delaney. This is going to continue right to the tail as Jake Scrivens jumped in front of the 109. The 109 does the scrub job and manages to get around, but Delaney is out for blood. He was on the front couple of cars here, and now trying to get back to the front. So this is going to be interesting as the 109 does have lots of time as we have 30 laps to go here in the last chance for romance. Vitch now working on the inside and battles all over the track right now.
196. Whoa, hey, where are you going?
Double to the outside.
That is pretty far. Cadence Frizzell off-roading here at Oxford Plains Speedway. So I'm guessing they're probably done. We got the 157 of Byron a little crooked there on the curb as they're trying to work their way up to the top 3. So top 3, my apologies again, they are going on to the 75 lap main event tonight. Having some fun here on Verdane TV and Tim's Corner Motorsports again. Lap 7 of 35. Fitzpatrick, Stiers, and Cousins in the transfer positions.
Dan Woolridge all over the back of the 19 of Ryan Walsh as he battles back there for that position. We are having a look in at the 2 machine of Todd Cousins, Byron, and Vitch, but battle right there right now between the 19 and the 56 machine of Dan Woolridge.
Setting things up for an exciting 75 lap main event tonight. Open setups. These drivers have had time to do a little practice and figure out what setup will get them to the front the quickest. And we saw with the weather report earlier about 75-ish degrees here at Oxford. 79 Fahrenheit. I'm trying to think what that is in Celsius. Mike, are you good at conversion?
It's Newfoundland hot.
It's not that hot though.
It's hot,
it's hot for December. Either way, that's gonna.
If it had Newfoundland wind, we had 120 hour winds last night, so and it's still blowing a gale here. So it's a good thing we do not have Newfoundland winds right here at Oxford as we continue on. 12 laps completed here. We're having to check in now on the 78 machine of Jonathan Fitzpatrick. He is your current leader. Joey Stiers trying to bridge the gap now between the 2 for that precious position. Both of them, if they continue on, will make the show, but very precious positions for the main event too as well.
That poor flag man, if we had Newfoundland winds, freezing standing there tonight here at Oxford Plains, but I'm sure Maine is not as cold as Newfoundland currently and probably not as windy. Well, I should take that back. They're going to get nor'easter tonight, so it could be a bit windy.
You never know what you're going to get. I mean, we were hotter in Florida last week.
That's true. Yeah, no, I was wearing shorts. Oh, we got some action now with the 4 car moving out of the way of the 78, your current leader. So Scrivens falls in line behind John Fitzpatrick. Johnny's a man on the move. He wants to stay up front. He came into tonight's races in 3rd in the standings, and he just had a little miscue in qualifying. Was able to get in this LCQ at the front of the field, just missing the automatic entry there in qualifying and also in the heat races earlier.
And as he gets up to lap 17, we're almost to the halfway mark here as Johnny Fitzpatrick coasts on a Wednesday night here in that beautiful 78 machine from the island. Joey Stiers, your position number 2, Todd Cousins, and John Byron. And I believe, Dylan, we're taking the top 4 here in the LCQ.
We're taking the top 4. So, where are you getting your details from?
I don't know. I missed the announcer meeting.
Me too, I guess.
Where's your memo?
I wrote it down somewhere. Yeah, it is. Okay, so it is top 4
They're gonna
there.
get fired.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. We got some action now with the 4 car. Scrivens loose on the backstretch. A little contact there, throwing themselves at the top after some contact with Byron.
Yeah, the 4 of Jake Scrivens going down that lap as that traffic was coming through. Got in a little bit of a situation there as the traffic got through, but no harm, no foul. The green flag continues here. Big run here, 21 laps. We have not seen the caution at all here tonight, Dylan, which is strange. We've seen a lot of green-white checkers in the heat races, but we've been so far all throughout tonight, green flag, but they could have cursed it right there.
Yeah, I was going to say, hang on for a lap. I'm sure we'll get the yellow here coming out as we are watching the 56 car, Tanton Woolridge. They are in 6th position right now. In 5th, it's Daniel Vitch. And with your info, Mike, if the top 4 are moving on, and I'm just kind of recollecting of what happened last week, I believe that is correct. The 157 Byron in the big transfer spot to move on to the 75 lap main event tonight.
Main event.
Main event.
Little WWE. Well, easy coasting, like we said. A lot of green flag laps here. We're checking in on the 157 of John Byron. He is your spot, 4th spot, and he's got Daniel Vitch at 29, kind of creeping back there and maintaining that distance, waiting for the right time to make that move. You don't want to do it too early because sometimes in the payback it was a bit of a, shall I say, bitch.
Yeah, we got to keep her clean tonight, you know?
Rated G.
Rated PG. Family friendly. There's one F-bomb occasionally.
Kind of rhymes with his last name, Bitch, though.
That's how you told me to pronounce his name.
Yeah.
You got her. Whoa, whoever in that car there, I believe that was Tanton Woolridge, a little crooked there on the front stretch, and that will be the battle for the transfer positions. Things will heat up as we're in the last 10 laps. Fitzpatrick, Stiers, Cousins, they're well away from the 157 of Byron.
For now on, if you don't know the driver's name, just say Buddy.
Pal.
Buddy.
I'm not your buddy, pal.
Buddy, what's his name?
No, you know the guy?
Yeah.
How's the car?
29. Bitch is now putting a lot of pressure, wants to get within striking distance now, tries to get under the back bumper of the 157 machine. We are now on board of Vitch as he tries to work the inside here. Almost a little bit of a third, but we're going to see yellow flag here as Delaney's around. We're going to see a little bit of a preview from our friends from Vidane TV and their brand new merchandise, folks. If you're enjoying this Vidane TV broadcasts, pick yourself up a hoodie or some of that swag that they got out now.
Yes, sir. We got hoodies, we got sweatshirts, t-shirts, tank tops. We even got these pretty cool coffee mugs that you could fill up with your Diablo wine or whatever you may be drinking that particular evening. But we'll take a look at the instant replay brought to you by the Teespring store. And you can see Delaney getting a little bit out of shape here with that lap car, the number 4 of Jake Scrivens. And actually, it looks like he spins the tires coming out of the corner, mashes the gas just a little bit too much, sends himself on around, and there you can see the flag man waving that yellow rag, letting everybody know to slow down to get a car pointed in the wrong direction. And there you see he loses the lap there as well. So tough break for the 109. Looks like he's going to end up going home, maybe sitting in the coach there watching the rest of the race here tonight on Vidane TV. But made mention, you guys already mentioned it earlier, the new Vidane TV merchandise, just announced it this week. Check out teespring.com/stores/Vidane TV, or just go to Vidane.net, click on merch. That's a whole lot easier, and get you one of the cool things that we have to offer there. You can actually use the coupon code or the promo code TANGLY to get yourself 10% off. So
Am I your best friend?
You are absolutely my best friend, Mikey. Speaking of friends, speaking of brand new friends, we do want to give a shout out to all the guys out there on YouTube and Facebook watching from the Showtime Cup Series race, league rather. They're coming up at 9:15 p.m. Eastern time tonight. A little bit better than an hour right now, coming up right after Tim's Corner Motorsports. Very, very excited to have those guys jump on here with us. Pretty cool to have a brand new league come in, and man, they got 36, 37 drivers, and they're running at Las Vegas tonight. So Rowdy, Wesley Hogan, myself will be calling the action of that, going back to our roots here at Vidane TV. But man, oh man, the lights are off on the pace car, boys. It's time to go green.
Time to go green, and it's time for you to send some hoodies to your announcers so we can sport that swag. But
send me some sizes, brother.
Triple X. Here we go. 78 machine of John Fitzpatrick will have the hammer with 3 to go here. It's going to be a shootout. Fitzpatrick gets out with a huge jump, steers on the outside, and we got action coming over the inside lip there. This is going to get tangly here in the final 2 laps.
It's going to get tangly. I think it already is.
Byron
turned around by Vitch.
Still green though, and they are going to wave the yellow rag. It's going to be a green-white checkered shootout here. I don't think this last chance for romance is concluded here, boys.
I don't think we're getting any kind of romance out of any of these drivers at this point. We're going to take a look at what happened.
Holiday romance.
Some kind of something. I don't know. I wouldn't call it romance, but definitely got a little bit of help there. The number 29, Daniel Vitch, did. You can see right now he gets onto the back bumper of the 157 and just sends the 157 around of John Byron, and he does a great job stopping before that pile of dirt right there. You can see still clean race car, but he's going to be restarting with P8. So that's going to be tough. He's still in the lead lap. Don't know if he's going to be able to make it up to the top into a transfer position. But, hey, we've seen stranger things happen right here on Vidane TV.
Hey, did you say send it?
I think he said send it.
Send it!
Don't be silly. He's still going to send it.
Send it. Well, unfortunately for him, he's at the back of the pack here as they come around. That's going to be a no-go for those guys as green, white, checkered, big gap for them to make up here unless we get another big one in the front and we see a complete inversion of what we see here. But 2 laps to go here, Dylan. Green, white, checkered. It's going to be the 78 machine of Johnny Fitzpatrick from the island. Going to try to control this to make it to the big show and hang on to those precious points. Like you said earlier on, Fitzpatrick on close to the top of the board for the season standings for the TCM league here at Oxford.
Things are getting so crazy, Mike. I can hear my girlfriend blasting Christmas music in the living room. So I'm ready for Christmas, and I'm ready for this LCQ race to finish up here with Fitzpatrick in front, Cousins, Joey Stiers, and I believe now Ryan Walsh is in the final transfer spot to move on to the 75-lap main event tonight. Oh, and don't forget, there's another hooligan race coming up right after this one. So 2 more races before we move on to the new league that Showtime was just telling you about. You want to stick around for that too here on Vidane TV. Green, white, checkered, pace lights are off. Mikey, let's finish this thing up to move on to heat race or hooligan race number 2. Got to finish off number 1 first.
Well, Ryan Walsh is on that outside as well as Todd Cousins. They're going to want to get to the bottom, and Todd Cousins times it perfectly with the leader, John Fitzpatrick. He's going to tuck in, and so does Ryan Walsh. Walsh still to the outside. That's going to be a no-go for the 19 as he loses precious spots as the 23 and the 56 now, as well as the next car. I believe that is Ted Woolridge or John Byron now coming up.
They're charging their way through the field. Charging their way through the field. White flag is out. It looks like it's going to be the 78 Fitzpatrick, Cousins, Stiers, and Tanton Woolridge from Prince Edward Island is going to get that 4th position.
Brutal for Ryan Walsh. Like I said, on the outside, you got to get to the bottom here at Oxford, and unfortunately for him, that's going to end his night. But great showing from all drivers here tonight. We'll see you in the next one, but some of the boys will be sitting here tonight, but we're getting set for last chance for romance number 2. 35 laps will be put back on the board and sitting on the pole, Dylan. We got Ryan Twinham in the 8. We talked about him earlier. Power Move thought he was going to be in the big show, but he's sitting here now in that last chance qualifier because we didn't get the memo. Nick Pache is going to be on the outside with the 51 and continuing on.
Hey, TJ Medor is going to be starting third, and Chantel Pottle, the lone lady tonight, starting fourth.
Derek Gates in the 24 machine in position number 5. He's got Todd Tufts to the outside in the 72.
Tony, where am I looking? Who did you say? Tony Wright. Sorry, pardon me.
You're fired.
I am really fired tonight. Tony Wright in the 09 starting 7th, and Mark Williams at the back of the field, along with Caleb Urquhart in that number 11 car to round off this last chance qualifier to set the main event tonight, the weekly racing series 75 lapper, the Oxford Plains Speedway.
It'll be interesting now because we've seen Pottle, Chantel Pottle, start to the rear quite often in the heat races as well as the LCQs. This time around, though, she is in row number 2 to the outside. So let's see what Pottle has for us as she tries to get into her first main event here tonight. But or she was in the last one. My apologies.
She was.
Yes, she was the Power Move in the last LCQ. So
Yeah, it was her and Campbell Delaney were the two drivers going for that last transfer spot. Fourth in these last chance qualifiers. She's in fourth now. Will she stay there or will she move up? Twinham gets the green flag. Last chance race to make the big show this evening.
Hooligan race, and the 51 still hanging out to the outside. Very dangerous spot. Could be 3 wide there as Pottle's going to get turned here, I believe. She is in the wrong direction. Yellow is going to come out as she got collected almost 3 wide there, Dylan. But we're going to get a little bit of a peek here from our friends at the Dane merchandise stand. Showtime Fall. What do we got?
That's a whole lot easier to say. The Vidane TV merchandise booth. That's what we'll do. We'll just call it that.
Merchandise tent.
Merchandise tent, because we don't have a booth. We got the broadcast booth. But we're going to take a look at the 05 SpongeBob Christmas special here. And you can see Chantel is almost in the middle of 3 wide. Little bit of a tap, little bit of another tap there from the 024. Sends her on around. Doesn't look like there was anything big hits. Looks like she barely avoids Calamity there. A little bit of a tangly situation. Heading up that dirt pile, but doesn't actually head up there, doesn't hit anything. Going to be restarting 9th here, but still plenty of time to go. Going to end up restarting with about 20 laps to go here in the second LCQ race here on the evening. So got a little bit of time here, a couple minutes under caution. Head on over to teesprings.com/store/VidaneTV. Pick yourself up a mug, a sweatshirt, t-shirt, any of that good stuff. Use the promo code.
Sex toys.
We don't have those yet. Possibly maybe something in the future.
No, you actually should get beer koozies.
You know, that's actually a really cool idea because here at Vidane TV, we always want to remind you to drink responsibly.
Well,
want to give a shout out to my buddy Patty Healy. He's watching right now on his Roku, so he's watching Vidane TV and Tim's Corner Motorsports.
Very cool.
Roku.
Laker news.
He's watching it on the small screen at home, checking in, and we got a couple of fans also checking in on the TCM Facebook. Thank you again for all watching, spending another Wednesday night behind the computer screen or the phone or the TV watching some fun iRacing. A lot of drivers you see at the racetracks in the summer, including Ashton Tucker and Mr. Ryan Messer. Those guys, they're already in the show tonight. They're coming up here shortly as we're pacing around after the first caution for Chantel Pottle spinning out. I don't know if she maybe cut down a little bit there on Derek Gates because Derek is holding his position, so no fault caution. No fault caution.
I believe Chantel, being the lady she is, she probably pushed the button and took the caution on it. It was getting pretty hairy in there, almost 3 wide. She knew that she didn't have a lot of room, so. But it's great here in this series. You know, the driver does have the opportunity to push the button to claim that caution so that the rest of the field did not go to the back, but she has pushed the button. But we are back to green flag, lap 6. It is Ryan Twinham in the 8 machine taking full control. And look at that, the 51 hanging out to drive to the outside, going to open the door for 7 car TJ Medor.
And you really don't want to be there in these last chance qualifiers. We saw it with Ryan Walsh. First hooligan race, they went from 3rd to almost 6th on a restart. Not the place you want to be. This is the high rent district, and it's not good living parts there.
Well, Derek Gates and Todd Tufts, if Gates can get to the back, that's going to be a real big trouble for the for Tufts here as they keep coming through the 51 machine. My apologies, Nick Pache still hanging out to dry on the outside as Tufts. Now Gates and Williams will come together, and that could be a no-no for the 51 of Nick Pache. He can fall back quite a few gap here as they all come together on the inside here in the 51 in a bit of a situation as we almost get into 3 wide as I believe that is the 24 of Derek Gates kind of scrubs it, but we have contact all over the place. Saving it. Here we go.
No, I don't think so, because Poddle was clipped again by Todd Tufts. Man, that thing started in turn 3 and wrapped up in turn 2. We're going to have a long replay for that as we're on board with Mark Williams. What a save originally from the 72 car, but you can see, and we'll see again here, it didn't end up very nice by the end.
Yeah, pulling up the teespring.com/store/Verdane TV instant replay. Holy mouthful of that. But you can see...
Verdane TV merch tent.
We're going to have to get some merch. .com.org.tv. But you can see 3 wide action here. Tufts in a Tufts situation. Please don't fire me. But does a great job saving it in that end of the racetrack, but unfortunately gets pancaked there and then turned by the 42. And Chantel Poddle nowhere to go. The 05 car, the Spongebob machine, gets clipped by the 72 and sent on down into the beach there. So tough break for the 05, tough break for the 72. They're going to end up restarting 8th and 9th respectively. Still plenty of time, though. We're not even at halfway here in the second LCQ race, so lots of time to get these drivers back up towards the front. And again, just want to take a few minutes here just to thank everybody for welcoming Verdane TV into your homes here this evening. Everybody watching on Verdane TV, Tim's Corner Motorsports, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, all the good stuff. And shout out to the drivers of the Showtime Cup Series kind of hanging out on the YouTube chat. They are making their Verdane TV debut here in less than an hour, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and very excited for those guys to witness the Verdane TV action, and we're very excited to bring you all the action as they race at Las Vegas here tonight. So still time to go here in this LCQ, and then we got the big show, the 75 laps at Oxford Plains Speedway here tonight for race number 3.
So, Paul, is the promo code for 75% off on Verdane TV merch really Tangly?
Well, it's 10%, and yes, it is Tangly.
10%. For those that do not know how to spell Tangly, I believe it's like that potent orange juice that we had when we were kids, T-A-N-G for Tang, L-E-Y. But if you're from Connecticut, I hope he spelled it the right way.
I think there was no E. I think it was just T-A-N-G-L-Y. I'd have to actually double check because I don't remember.
Well, you got some time unless there's another crash because we're going to refire here on lap 16. Pace lights off the iRacing vehicle. It hooks Larry and goes in field. We're back green flag racing with Twinham and Medor on the outside. That's row number 1. Gates and Pache, row number 2. And the 7 car clipped by Twinham, and he's drifting back far, far away from first.
3 wide there for just a brief moment as they still collect in the back. A lot of side-by-side action as a lot of that outside line is pushing to the back. Twinham now coming up on past the cross flags. We are halfway after lap 18.
Where are we?
Lap 18. We're in Oxford, I believe.
We are. We're in the virtual Oxford, Maine, and right now
19.
it is the... We're in the Ryan Twinham show right now. Derek Gates in second. How about Mark Williams? He was part of that calamity a little earlier before the restart. Now he's in third, and it's Nick Pache in fourth, the transfer spot. Got a little bit of a cushion. We're taking 3? We're taking 3, okay.
We're fired.
We're really fired.
Tim's gonna be like Donald Trump. You're fired.
I found the memo from race official Tim Terry. We are taking 3 from the consolation races here. So the 8, the 024, and the 42 is currently sitting pretty. There you can see the 05 losing another lap there, unfortunately, but still Twinham, Gates, and Williams in the transfer spot with about 15 laps. Checked about 13 laps to go.
Goodness gracious, thanks for setting us straight tonight.
I was about to say that. You know it's bad when the producer comes in and sets us straight on the race.
Oh, we're going to be paid in peanuts tonight.
You guys are getting paid?
I get a T-shirt that says Calamity and Tangley on the back.
The Tangley Calamity Corner.
Twittem out front. He is your leader, the 8. A bit of a gap there on Derek Gates, but your top 3, lots of comfort room right now. Mark Williams going to try to fend off the 51 of Nick Pache. Pache earlier on in the heat race fell all the way to the back on that outside, so I don't think he'll make that mistake twice as he's going to hug that corner and try to throw out the fishing reel right now and try to reel in Mark Williams. He's still got a lot of time, 10 laps on the board here, Dylan.
Not a lot of time. Not a lot of time. Depends how you look at it. If you're in front, that is the longest 10 laps ever. If you're fighting on the outside, it's not enough time. As Gates hits the curb a little bit, you can see a few of the drivers. They're clipping that curb, and it's sending them up the track, which opens the door for the driver right behind. Right now, that is Mark Williams in the 42 car. Impressive that he's able to stay in the top 3. And you heard it from the man himself, Mr. Showtime. Top 3 are moving on to our main event tonight. So Mark's going to want to really try and get away and get some distance from the 51 car. Pache, a handful of car lengths in between us. We're winding down this race.
Who's yelling? With 7 to go here and counting down to 6 to go here. Twinham's going to come up on some lap traffic here as he comes up on Caleb Urquhart. This could pose a bit of a challenge here and close the bridge between our top 4 as Nick Pache is looking for anything right now as we count down 5 to go here. Pache, we're on board Ryan Twinham's machine number 8 as he comes up on lap traffic. Can Pache get there? We'll find out in just a moment.
Slower car of Urquhart will move out of the way of Ryan Twinham all the way to the outside. Now side by side with the leader, but again, not going to play a factor here in this finish. Yeah, the big transfer spot is for 3rd, and Mark Williams has got about half a straightaway right now in front of Nick Pache. In fact, Nick's got a little bit of pressure now from the 7 car, Mador. They're going to have to really hammer on horsepower there if they want to try and catch up to the number 42. As Mador, who was a driver who drifted back on a restart, now grabs 4th, but that's just going to give you pretty much the first participation trophy tonight.
The first loser here, but the 7 machines, the spotters are screaming in the airs right now. It's go, go, go. Let's go. And they got a huge gap right now to make up. It's almost about 1.75 of a second. So quite a bit of a gap with 2 to go here, Dylan.
Plenty of time, maybe not enough time, but Ryan Twinham with the white flag, 1 more to go. Derek Gates and Mark Williams, they've got the slower car of Urquhart in between themselves, and coming around turn 3 and 4, Ryan Twinham is going to punch his ticket to the 75-lap main event tonight, along with Derek Gates and Mark Williams. Mador, Pache, Wright, Tufts, Pottle, Urquhart, they will have to watch on Verdane TV like the rest of us.
Like the rest of us?
I'm watching on Verdane TV via Discord.
All right, we're going to throw up a warm-up here. 3-minute warm-up for our big competitors that are going to be in the 75 laps. 3 minutes, and some of the guys we have not seen as our top 8, like we talked about earlier. Ryan Messer's going to be out there. Ashton Tucker and also Matthew Barkhouse are top 3 contenders here tonight.
Top 3 for qualifying. Matthew Barkhouse will be the pole sitter. Ryan Messer, Ashton Tucker starting 3rd. Chris Roma, Roger Down. Great run from Chris Ewing in the 25. He's going to be starting 6th. David Cassidy in the 13 starting 7th. And Rational Richard Drake, he was the last driver to make it on his qualifying time. So they have not been behind the wheel for, about 45 minutes now. So they've just been waiting patiently, seeing how the racing is playing out. Track not as hot as last time, so they won't be as slippy and slidey on the racing surface. But we'll see what happens. The weather is dynamic with iRacing tonight. That could certainly change as we progress through the 75-lap main event.
75 laps going to be on the board here for series round number 3 for the TCM Weekly. We're here at Oxford Plains Raceway. Who do we got in the booth with us? I believe Brent Roy came in to check in with us there, Dylan.
Brent, are you here?
Yeah, what's going on, guys? I figured I'd pop over. getting a little tired of hanging out with Tim for a while.
Kind of want to
I
hang
don't-
out with the cool kids.
Yeah, well, that's up for debate.
So how are things down in the scorers booth, we'll call it tonight?
Conti number 1, they got a little hectic, but other than that, how about those heat races? These guys are, looking after each other.
They really have been, and there's a little bit of camaraderie there. There's actually some potential contingency money with a clean driving award by the end of the year. So you don't want to rough up a lot of the drivers. You do a lot of iRacing, Brent. You know about those DQ points. They can build up pretty quick, right?
Absolutely, man. They can get out of hand pretty quick, especially if something piles up, and the next thing you know, you gotta, spend more time keeping your nose clean for the rest of the night than racing.
I know you're scoring and helping out Tim, but any favorites tonight?
No favorites. I don't play favorites. But no, it should be a good race. I mean, weeks 1 and 2 were awesome shows. We're in for another good one here tonight. And, like I said, what's unique about this format is you race the same guys every week, so you get that familiarity with the same track and the same cars, and it's you got to respect each other.
Well, we're going to let you go back and hang out with your good pal, your good buddy Tim Terry to get this show underway, and we thank you for everything you do there, buddy.
No problem. I'm going to grab a water here on my way out, and we'll see you at the end of the race.
Water.
10-4, 10 water.
Everybody
Jimmy's
on the water. Everybody on the water here in the holidays. Something that Brent pointed out there, same track, same racers. Drivers always have a brutal memory. It'll carry on forever sometimes, and we've seen some of that on the real race surface. So these guys have been pretty good here tonight. So hopefully we don't have any calamity, as Paul would say.
You never know with the TCM racing event, but boys, it's time to present your starting lineup tonight for the weekly racing 75 round 3 of the TCM Weekly iRacing Series. And on the pole, Matthew Barkhouse once again starting shotgun, the Godfather Ryan Messer in the number 1.
On the inside, your points leader, the 0-2, Ashton Tucker, and he's going to have Chris Roma to the outside in the 83 machine.
Starting on row number 3 will be Roger Down and Chris Ewing in the number 25. An impressive start for the 25 car.
And in row number 4, one of my favorites, the 13, David Cassidy will be up there with Rational Richard Drake in the 141 to the outside.
Looking through the top finishers and heat races, Cody Moorcroft and Mr. Christmas himself, Brett Suggs in the 33.
And in position number 11, Keith McClellan in the Bud Light machine, and he'll have Craig Tully in the 5 to the outside.
Joey Stiers in the number 23 next to Conrad Murphy in the number 14 car.
You missed Jason Goss in the 41 machine, but we'll get back to him.
Whoopsie.
Am I looking at the same screen as you are?
I was looking at the wrong one. I was looking at the fast.
Brad Hayes in the 15th position, Roddy Duncan in the 16th. Take it over at the 17th.
Holy Moses, I'm fired.
Lights are out. Let's go.
I'm fired. Anyways, looking through 17th, Travis Roma, Wade Craswell, John Gahan, Corey Hallett, John Fitzpatrick, Ryan Twinham, Todd Cousins, Derek Gates, Joey Stiers, and Mark Williams, the last driver to start tonight's race. We've got all the mistakes out of the way, right? We're going to have a good race here in the announcer's booth, and these guys are going to have a great race on the racetrack. The pace car is off, and Matthew Barkhouse gets the green flag. Round 12, the TCM iRacing Weekly Racing Series is underway.
Lots of two-way traffic here, and they all need to get to the bottom, but it's tight to the inside. Matthew Barkhouse throwing down a great start here, and he's got a bit of a bridge that he's building now on Ryan Messer as they check out your top 4. Lots of side-by-side drag racing with Roma to the outside.
Only one set of tires, the ones they got on their car, so you don't go into pit road to change any tires. You can go down to pit road to make adjustments if there is a caution here or there, and with 26 cars on track, there could be a caution here or there. Open setup, so these drivers have had time to adjust things on their car for their liking. Maybe it didn't work too well last week, or maybe it worked so well you don't want to touch anything. Right now, we're looking at Cody Moorcroft and Rational Richard. He's on the outside, and you can see Keith McClellan motoring by on the bottom. Now Jason Goss also wanting to join that party and try and shove the 141 up the track.
Yeah, and it's also Craig Tully as well to the outside. That inside is pretty tight. You can lose quite a few positions here as Rational Richard needs to get to the bottom here, and he tries but loses it, gets bent out of shape there just a little bit and opens the door for Craig Tully as he comes up through the back. But we got 2 cars to the outside, and it is going to be unfavorable for the 141 and the 5.
It's almost like you're walking up the stairs and the person next to you is on an escalator. They're just going to fly right by you, and that's what's happening right now with the outside and the inside lanes here at Oxford Plains Speedway. We're doubled up all around the track, but we've been watching the 141 and Craig Tully just slowly drift back the entire time. Matthew Barkhouse, your pole sitter, is in front with Ryan Messer in second, Ashton Tucker in third, and whoa! Craig Tully, he was thrown well to the outside. Now he'll finally settle on the bottom, and it looks like all those drivers have found their spot on the inside lane.
Yeah, John Gahan in 16 kind of pushed up the track, kind of came in a little bit too deep and pushed Tully to the outside, but no harm, no foul. The 5 machine does manage to slide into the inside, but he lost quite a few positions, now sitting in the 20th position, as well as Rational Richard. He is now in 16th position as he went from lost 8 spots there from being on the outside, finally getting to the bottom. But we're looking in at the 80 machine. That is Cody Moorcraft. We had a peek at him. He is in 9th position here as he is in front of Jason Goss and leading that way. But the rest of the field kind of checking out, looking in front of Cody Moorcraft. Brett Suggs now trying to make a move on the 13 of Dave Cassidy.
Cars slipping and sliding all around the track, and with this being a weekly racing series, all the points build up at the end of the year. And coming into tonight's races, Matthew Barkhouse, John Fitzpatrick, and Ashton Tucker in the top 3 with qualifying. There are points handed out there, so we'll get a final tally in the coming weeks as we go on a little Christmas break, and we'll have more details about what is going to be coming up here shortly on TCM and Bedane TV, along with the weekly racing series. I want to thank you all for tuning in again. Lap 14 in the books here at the Oxford Plains Speedway. And a caution now, first caution of the main event. We'll see what brought out the yellow flag.
Get your t-shirts.
Get your jerky.
Get your mugs.
Get your t-shirts, your mugs, your meatballs, everything here. We got it at the Bedane TV
We sell
booth
meatballs?
here. We're selling all the meatballs. Taking a look through the tapes here, I'm not seeing why it is we're under caution. I don't actually see anybody pointed out of shape here. We'll keep looking just a little bit. It looks like it may. Aha, there we go.
Ooh,
looks like
Fitzy.
yeah, Fitzy, one of the quick cars here, the number 78 of John Fitzpatrick, in trouble. Pull it up here. We'll take a look at it from the chopper as we pull up the instant replay brought to you by the Bedane TV merchandise tent. And you can see right here the number 78 Canada machine just hits that bumper all by himself. Hits the dirt pile a little bit, hits the second dirt pile. No damage or anything like that. He grabs a gear, he points her in the right direction and gets on going. There you can see Matthew Barkhouse in the number 1 car, as well as Ryan Messer getting by. So that means John Fitzpatrick going to be stuck a lap down here. So still early on, we're lap 17, working lap 18 here of the 75 lapper. So still an opportunity to get the lucky dog the free pass and get himself back on a lead lap. But going to be an uphill battle as he's got a lot of damage, front end damage there on number 78 for John Fitzpatrick.
No one checking in on pit road with 17 gone as the pace car gone. The single files them around here, Dylan. This is going to be an extended caution as they try to line up everybody into the right position. We had a bit of a gap between the 2 groups of race cars. This is going to line them back up again. But what we've seen on that initial start, we had a couple of drivers, Craig Tully and Rational Richard, falling way behind, being on the outside. So we'll see if that transpires here on the restart here. Not a nice spot to be on the outside here on these restarts. You really got to get to the bottom.
And you'll see a few drivers really try and elbow their way down to the bottom. And we'll see it again guaranteed on this upcoming restart. And at lap 38, Mike, there will be the halfway award brought to you by Highway 311 North River Market, getting ready for Christmas time. A lot of great stuff. You can get some shopping done this weekend. So they will hand out a little bit of extra cash to the leader at lap 38, at the completion of lap 38. And Ashton Tucker, he's been the man to claim both contingency awards last time we were here at Oxford Plains. Green flag is out. Ryan Messer, he tried elbowing his way to the bottom. He did, but holy moly, he almost completely clobbered Ashton Tucker with the front end of his car.
I think Barkhouse went and Messer hit the throttle a little bit too hard and kind of bit into that asphalt and almost took out Ashton Tucker, but they managed to squeeze by here as Brett Suggs now picking up a spot here now. Suggs now trying to get past the 21 of Roger Down. He does clear. 21 does drop in and fall in, but we've still got quite a few cars still hanging on to the outside. We talked about that earlier, and I believe that is the 30 machine of Keith McClellan. He's trying to get in, but Jason Goss is a full wall in front of the inside.
And you're going to see that 30 car drift back in front, though. How about Chris Ewing passing Ashton Tucker? So Chris Ewing in the 25 car, crew member for Russell Smith Jr. in the Maritime Pro Stock Tour. Great guy, got to meet him for the first time this summer. Loves iRacing, and right now he is charging. He's all over the rear of Ryan Messer. Chris hasn't had too much luck so far in the first 2 rounds of the weekly racing series. We're on board. You can see MC Hammer in front along with the leader of the race right now. A third of the way in, Matthew Barkhouse leading with Ryan Messer in second, and Chris Ewing, great run so far, running in third, and he is trying to see if he can maybe flip the curb a little bit, maybe get a little bit of a shot there to try and catch up to the 1 car, get side by side with him.
Great view for the 25 machine, the Rockstar Energy 25 of Chris Ewing. Those top 3 fastest cars of the night with a 1506, 1505, and a 1504. That puts Chris Ewing the fastest car of the night here. As we get into lap number 26, those 3 cars checking out quite a bit here now. But whoa, where did he come from?
Derek Gates off-roading.
Derek Gates is like, how you doing? As he come around, he's going to go down a lap here as the leaders, but he tries to slide in front of the 21. I don't think the 21 appreciated it.
Derek, it's December. You don't need to go to the beach right now. It's too cold. It's too snowy in Maine for real. Maybe not enough. He'll settle in as he clearly went off the track. Probably a single car incident as it did not trigger a caution. Here's some more action with Chris Ewing. A little bit of a shot there to the 1 car. Messer tried slamming the door in front of Ewing, and he may have jammed Ewing's thumb through the door there because that was tight as a tiger trying to make it into turn 3.
Look at Tiger. Ewing exchanging paint with the 1 machine of Ryan Messer, but closed the door. But we are going to see yellow flag as Chris Roma in the 83 machine out for a double-double in the outfield, checking in with that Tim Hortons drive-through. Not quite sure what happened, but we'll find out right shortly with our friend Paul Showtime Strickland.
T-shirt.
T-shirts. Get your T-shirts.
Get your meatballs.
Pulling up the old instant replay here, a little bit of a tangly situation, as it were. You can see right now we're pulling up Chris Roma there in the 83 machine with the Royal Volts sponsor machine. Shout out to the Royal Volts. They were able to give us the theme song for the RBR Maritime group as they ran their 6 races here. But you can see the 83 and the 80 hard racing here. The 024, the lap car, up on the high side, and looks like the 83 just going to kind of get into the back quarter panel. The 80 sent him on a round, and unfortunately nowhere for the 41 to 17. And there you see Daddy Mac there in the 30 Bud Light machine get involved as well. So a lot of drivers kind of playing bumper cars back here on lap number 32, but doesn't look like there was any big hits. So good news there. Still Matthew Barkhouse up front. We're taking a look at the timing and scoring loop this time around. Once we get the free pass, which will be Jonathan Fitzpatrick, going to have 25 cars on the lead lap. All 25 cars will be on the lead lap. Looks like the only driver right now that's still not racing is Riley Duncan in the 97 car. Unfortunately, is sitting on pit road. Looks like he's done for the evening, but still plenty of times to go here, plenty of laps to go here, boys. A lot of guys still on the lead, and gals still on the lead lap. So this is really anyone's race at this point.
You're really sounding like a Canadian now. Let's go, boys. Lots of time here, boys.
And you know what? It's weird because, like, this first race here tonight, we're up here in Canada, Atlantic Canada. We've been working with you guys for a long time, and In less than a half hour's time, we're going to be working with a bunch of guys from down south and Southern American. So, Alabama, North Carolina. We're going to be talking all sorts of squirrely tomorrow, so I'm not sure what's going on.
I think it's because you found out you were a Newfoundlander.
That's it. We're like 3% Canadian.
No.
Roll Tide, baby.
Well, let's see what the 25 machine has on this restart. He does have the prominent spot on the bottom. Now, if he can time this properly, he could really mess her up on the outside here. We're going to see on that last restart, it looked like Messer tried to time it and hit the throttle a little bit too hard and kind of hooked in and almost took out Ewing. So we'll see as the pace car exit. Barkhouse does not mess around. He fires right away, and Messer times it perfectly as they go door to door, and we got some action on the front, but Messer has got the tuck to the bottom, and Ewing shuts the door to the bottom. Almost 3 wide as Ewing takes a shot at Barkhouse now. This is getting wild, Dylan.
Oh, we got a wreck on the front. Looks like Jason Goss turned around. Oh, we got a giant pileup along with Cody Moorcroft. I was just going to say, hang on to something, folks, if you're watching, because this is going to get crazy. And it did, just somewhere else on the track. And that will effectively hand over the halfway award to Matthew Barkhouse as the halfway point will be run under caution. But we got to find out what happened. I need to go get a T-shirt and a hot dog, so we're going to throw it over to Mr. Showtime.
Yeah, we're going to end up selling out the old T-shirt hut here, and we're taking a look at another instant replay brought to you by the Teespring store. And took out a lot of fast cars that are not fast any longer. The 41 gets into the back of the 17, seems to correct it, but there you see the 16 trying to get up through the 38, the 41, the 89 there, Conrad Murphy as well. And then it looks like the 42 gets into the 80 and then drives over the back quarter panel there. So we're going to take a look at the Cody Moorcroft machine. We'll back this up again here because we can do that. Here with the iRacing service, you can see the number 80 right behind the number 78 of John Fitzpatrick, and we'll see if we can find out exactly what went down. It looks like he may have saw the caution in front of him, slowed up just a little bit, and it looks like he may have gotten a tap there from, nope, he actually taps into the back of the 78, so tough break. There's a lot of fast race cars here that just took a lot of damage. Looks like we're going to have about 33 laps or so to go here once we get going green. And Matthew Barkhouse still out front.
Still not seeing a lot of action on pit road. You know, these guys at the tail here, I'm surprised they have not checked in with pit road. But Jason Goss will be the first one as we see him now on pit road. The 41 machine now making his way down, and he's going to have a quick turnaround as he does not want to go down a lap. So he does a quick check in with his crew chief and tries to slide out in front of that pace car.
Well, and with a shorter race and you don't have the extra set of tires, I don't know if it's really necessary to go down to pit road, especially if you were in the top 5, I would say. If you're further back and stuff's not working, why not go down to pit road? What's the worst that's going to happen? You're just going to drift back a few more positions. Right now, it is still Matthew Barkhouse. Chris Ewing will start on the outside, and that is going to be an interesting restart because we know how much Ryan Messer likes the inside. Chris is going to want to get on the inside. I don't see the one car really letting Chris just take that slot, handing it over like a little charity.
Yeah, Ewing's going to have to time this near perfect. He's going to have to be watching the tapes over the last couple weeks. Barkhouse tends to want to jump as soon as that pace car is out of the way. We have not seen a lot of variety in his restarts here, so if Ewing has the right notes here and is listening, we'll see what happens here as the pace car exits. But look at this, Barkhouse hangs on a little bit extra here and times it a little bit differently, and Ewing will manage to try. No! He's going to get slide job out of the way. He's all the way out, but they are going to call the caution. Might have been a little bit premature here, as I don't see a lot of wreckage here. And
there may have been something a bit further back, as probably a few of the cars woed up there as they saw Ryan Messer and also Chris Ewing hammer on the brakes. Yeah, it looks like here maybe just maybe a little tangly there in turn 2, but we'll get the full replay here in a moment.
Yeah, we'll call it just a little bit premature. I think these guys may or may not have had it. You see the 17 car pointing in the wrong direction as we're looking at the Verdane TV T-shirt hut. Instant replay, the 17 alongside Daddy Mac there in the 30. And as everybody slows up on the inside, you see the 25 out of shape, 17 out of shape. but it actually looks like everybody kind of gathers it back up and points it in the right direction. So I'm going to say good call on calling the caution. It gives everybody the opportunity to get straightened back out and side by side along each other. So 30 laps to go here. Probably going to restart with about 26, 27 on the board. And still Matthew Barkhouse out front.
We haven't seen a lot of Brad Hayes here tonight in the 17 machine, except for that last caution. So see what he has for him. But I got a funny feeling he collected a bit of damage on that caution as he came across the front there.
Now we're going to see roles reversed here on this restart. Chris Ewing restarted second just a couple moments ago, tried elbowing his way down to the bottom, and Ryan Messer just about almost took him out. I wouldn't say that Ryan intentionally did that, but now Ryan will be restarting on the outside. Chris will be right behind your leader, Matthew Barkhouse, again, and that will shape up to be interesting as we try and get this thing under green. A couple of cautions after a couple of spins here at the Oxford Plains Speedway, and we'll try and get back going here in just a moment. Matthew Barkhouse has led 47 straight laps. Ashton Tucker right now is in 5th. I believe that is Brett Suggs now up in the 4th position.
Hard charger Brett Suggs had to make his way into the heat race, so he's made up quite a few spots to make himself into the 4th spot in row number 2. He's going to be on the outside as well, so it'll be interesting here to see if he can drop in front of Ashton Tucker, but I got a funny feeling we're going to see a tight bottom that we've seen all night here. As the lights are out on the pace car, we are going to get set here. Will Barkhouse fire right away? He will hold for just a second here. He'll fire, and look at that. Messer times it almost near perfect, but it is a battle for the bottom.
Huge battle right now. Ryan Messer not giving up, but it looks like in turn 3 and 4, it just goes away a little bit. He gets body checked by Ewing, and another caution out here at Oxford Plains, and cautions breed more cautions, and that's happening right now with, I believe, it looks like, I can't tell who Craig Tully in the 5 car facing the wrong way. Now he's driving the right way. I was just going to say right before, though, Chris Ewing moved the 1 car up the track, and again, roles reversed. Chris Ewing's going to restart second when we refire again. This wreck actually did take out a few cars here. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, a couple of cars pointing in the wrong direction, collecting a few dents that they really didn't want to add to the collection. We're going to focus on number 5 car, and there you see it, 67 checks up, gets hit by the 57. Some big hits back there between, there you see the 16 getting into the quarter panel of the 5 car as well, so tough break for a lot of these drivers. There you can see, we'll back this up one more time, take a look at Jason Goss as he was involved in a little bit of this mayhem as well. He gets into the back of the 2 car of Todd Cousins, and Todd also gets into the back of one of the Romas there. There you see the 38, the Travis Roma machine there pointed in the wrong direction. Good looking race car there, the RBR Maritime sponsored machine. A little bit of chrome action going on with the side numbers, but a lot of quick cars here in the back of the pack. A lot of damage that they've kind of collected here. But again, out front, still going to be the 1525, bringing us to the caution, bringing us to the green. Check that.
There's going to be about 20 laps to go when we refire with Matthew Barkhouse still in front right now for round number 12, the TCM Weekly iRacing Series. The back end of December now. Hard to believe Christmas is right around the corner. It felt like I was at the racetrack last weekend because it wasn't freezing cold like it was today here in Nova Scotia. Chris Ewing restarting second. He'll be on the outside. We are seeing you need to be on the inside because the outside just ain't cutting it tonight, Mike.
Did you know that you can get your wife a Vidane TV tank top for Christmas?
No kidding. Really? What else can I get her?
10% off by using the promo code TANGLY.
Spelt the American way. D-A-N-G-L-Y.
You got any of those engagement rings?
Oh, don't go there.
Oh, no, we don't have any of those.
Dylan, back to the race, though. This 25-1 has been back and forth. Now Ewing, like you said, is going to be on the outside. But on that last restart, Ryan Messer was on his way to the back, so we get a clean start here as the 15 jumps out.
Oh no,
the
Ewing!
25. Ewing is around. That's going to
Ryan Messer's involved. Oh, Ryan Messer's on his lid.
Down. Send the ambulance.
Okay. Yeah. Oh boy, this is Well, this is going to really mix things up here. We'll have to get the replay guy out again. Who's that guy again? He's selling T-shirts or something. But holy moly, this is going to really shake it up like a shamrock shake, brother.
Shamrock shakes. It's December.
Someone give him a beer. Get him off the water.
Oh man, we can hear Tim Terry screaming and yelling from here. Taking a look at the instant replay right now. We're gonna focus on the one car because the one car upside down where you shouldn't have been, and we're gonna look right from the start. You can see everybody kind of lined up 2 by 2. Matthew Barkhouse brings them down to the green flag, and there you can see the one car side by side with Brett Suggs. One car gets to the quarter panel of the 25, gives him another shot, gets in the corner panel of the Suggs, and man, oh man, just weird,
he flipped on his own.
Slow motion kind of grip roll. There you see the 78 John Fitzpatrick up there pole dancing on that dirt pole there.
Stripper.
Not really sure what the deal is there, but one car gets her pointed in the right direction. He's going to restart behind the number 5 of Craig Tully. And Matthew Barkhouse out front, new P2 guy, Brett Suggs, in that Christmas time machine. So, man, we've seen Brett Suggs. He's been strong past couple of weeks. He's strong everywhere that he's run here on Verdane TV. One of the RBR Maritime teammate drivers, even though he is the lone American here in this field.
And Ashton Tucker will be...
I've never seen a pole dancer.
Really?
What? Not
they don't got one in Oxford Plains?
Well, definitely not from PEI. That's very reserved over there.
Well, Ashton Tucker will be restarting on the inside in third, but man, Mr. America, Brett Suggs, will be starting on the outside of Matthew Barkhouse. Brett has been really fast, and we're going to see him try and use the outside lane. On that restart there, like we sort of predicted, Chris Ewing wanted to get to the bottom. I guess he just wasn't as clear as maybe his spotter told him. You can have either the automatic iRacing spotter or you can have a real-life spotter. So I don't know if Chris has got the real deal or the computer, but either way, he was not clear. It was kind of like Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott at Darlington earlier this year.
Well, the spotter could have had a few wobbly pops and said, clear, clear, clear. No, you're not clear, and he was already gone. But unfortunately for those guys, they've been battling all night and been running a great race. But they are all the way to the tail. And with 15 laps to go, 60 laps completed. Lights are off the pace car. We are going to see once again Matthew Barkhouse in the 15 machine will get the hammer here as he comes around. 3 and 4 as the pace car will exit here. The 15, we'll see what he has. It's Suggs now on the outside. Brett Suggs trying to time this perfect.
Less than 15 laps to go here at Oxford Plains. Suggs sends it right down to the bottom. That's what Chris Ewing wanted to do, but wasn't able to get her done here. Suggs very fast, but Mr. Barkhouse has been the fastest car the entire time as there's more cloud coverage over the speedway, which could make it for some tighter conditions for these drivers. Looking through the top 5 right now, you can see Roger Downs in 4th, David Cassidy in 5th. How about Keith McClellan up to 6th now, charging their way through the field, but they're going to be running out of time soon. You can see one driver hanging on the outside, not where you want to be currently. We got a problem. Tully turned around going towards turn 1. That may not trigger the caution. It looks like it may be just by themselves. We are still green flag racing with 11 laps remaining.
I think they're done with the cautions, but Roger Down was hung out to dry on the outside, but managed to slide in and machine of Ryan Twinham. But we have another car coming in from a double-double. That is Craig Tully, like you said. He's going to rejoin, but he is going to be down a lap here as the leaders did get by them. He will be the first to get the lucky dog if we do draw the yellow once again. 10 laps to go here. It is Brett Suggs and Ashton Tucker trying to chase down Matthew Barkhouse in the 50 machine as we count down the laps.
Matthew's just been so consistent, firing on all cylinders tonight. He's got about 4 to 5 car lengths between himself and Brett Suggs. Ashton Tucker looking to keep it in P3 to get a podium finish tonight. In 4th right now, trying to hold off the 5th place position, Roger Down, David Cassidy, or pardon me, Keith McClellan, duking out some positions on the track. So things are shaking up here with less than 10 to go.
Yeah, big charge from the 30 machine of Keith McClellan earlier on. Got hung out to dry on the outside, lost a lot of spots, almost all the way back to the mid-pack. Making it now into a top 5 and working its way on David Cassidy in the 13 machine. We are on board right the 30 of Keith McClellan as he checks out the Mike's Bar and Grill on the back of David Cassidy in the 13 machine. With only 6 laps to go, it is going to get tight here as he looks for that spot. Could be a scrub, could be something else.
I'm sure he doesn't want to be hanging out at Mike's Bar right now. He wants to try and get to the front, but right now that is held down by Matthew Barkhouse. Brett Suggs has not been really able to reel in the number 15 car. Looking at the lap times, Brett and Matthew have been flip-flopping, I should really say, for fastest lap times recently, but they have checked out from Ashton Tucker.
Yeah, 2 quick machines at the front here now with this limited time left here. Ashton Tucker losing a huge gap now on Brett Suggs. Cassidy and Keith McClellan still battling back there for that position, number 4, as McClellan looking for a little bit of extra grip to the outside as we're seeing a little bit more grip make its way out to the mid line here. So you're seeing drivers sort of testing the waters here, trying to get a little bit more, but yellow flag is out. We are going to get a green-white checkered here, boys.
How about them apples? It wouldn't be a TCM Vidane TV event without checkered, right?
Checkers or wreckers?
Checkers,
Well, we have
wreckers,
some
and
records.
everything in between. Pull up the old instant replay here, find out why we are under caution. Saw somebody down there getting some Timbits and a double-double, as I believe you guys call it up there. And
Yeah.
we'll pull up the old instant replay and shoot on over. Gives you a little bit of time to shoot on over to teespring.com/stores/Vidane TV. But going to be one of the Roma machines in trouble here. Travis Roma there in the black and gold machine. We're actually going to back this up just a little bit more. You can see the 80 is side by side. We'll back it up a little bit.
It kind of was going. You can see Chris Ewing and Ryan Messer really just going to town on each other right in front there.
Yeah, pancaking the doors there, the 25 and the 1 car. And there you see the 80 kind of checked up a little bit. Roma got in the back of him. The 024 gets caught up in it as well. So sends him on around, and that's where you see Roma shooting down for the double-double. Doesn't even make it to the beach. Ends up hitting the wall real hard there. So a lot of front-end damage on the number 38. He's going to end up being a lap down. You see he parks here, lets everybody go by. Doesn't want to block the racing groove, but still Matthew Barkhouse up front and led a whole bunch of laps here tonight. Brett Suggs is going to be restarting at P2.
On the outside, and Ashton Tucker will have the bottom lane, so we'll see if Matthew's able to be A1 for every restart tonight. He's had a few chances to fire off smoothly, but man, wouldn't that be a heartbreak if you mess up, if you spin the wheels on the last restart. We've seen Heartbreak City at the real racetrack. We've seen it here in iRacing. Fingers crossed for that gentleman right there that he's able to keep it all straight going into turn number 1, and we'll double up here in just a moment.
Well, it sets everything up here for the perfect picture with 2 to go here. We talked to Brent Roy earlier. Everybody's been a gentleman so far here tonight. Will they be a gentleman on the final lap? When they come into turn 4, will there be a scrub? We'll find out as Ashton Tucker, Matthew Barkhouse on top of the board for the points throughout this season. Will that come out? I can't even say that word because we don't say that word. We're on what?
Calamity.
Nope. Good friends. We'll see what happens. But we get a restart here. Dylan and the 15 machine, Matthew Barkhouse times it, but Suggs makes a huge jump to the bottom here in front of Ashton Tucker. Side-by-side battle back there between Cassidy and McClellan. McClellan with the advantage will pick up the P4 as they all come hard charging to the white silk.
I thought Brett had his bumper right on the back of Matthew Barkhouse. Not close enough, and only one more chance. Do it. Does Suggs diver deep there in turn 3? Dives deep, and he actually slides at the track. That opens the door for Ashton Tucker, but winning the race will be Matthew Barkhouse in the 15.
Ashton Tucker almost into the back of Suggs, and Suggs hangs on to that P2, but Matthew Barkhouse, Mr. Consistent, took it from lap number 1 all the way to 75. He is your race winner, but big hat. Shout out to Brett Suggs and the 33 machine. He is your hard charger. Had to make it the hard way through the heat races. Now finishes in P2. And your top 3 podium finish, Ashton Tucker collecting some precious points here tonight.
Another big win there for Matthew Barkhouse. Brent Suggs finishing second. Ashton Tucker, as you mentioned, finishing the podium positions. And all the points add up here at the end of the TCM Weekly Racing Series. And we're having some fun coming up in the new year. But look at that celebration. Some burnouts here from the race winner, Matthew Barkhouse. And that will pretty much throw him in first place for the points here for the TCM Weekly Racing Series, as he was not far off from Ashton Tucker. Tucker finishing third tonight, so they'll kind of equal out here, as Matt also had the pole tonight.
Should be interesting. We got that double header coming up first week of January as well, so that's going to be the one that's going to be the wild one throughout this season. A lot of points going to be on the line for that one.
Oh yeah, going to be real tangly, as they say.
Oh, tangly has been used quite a bit here tonight, so I think we need to come up with a new word like
brouhaha.
Brouhaha.
No,
Calamity.
brouhaha.
I do want to see a T-shirt with Calamity and Tangly on it, though. We got a good friend Brent Roy in here. What'd you think of that, Brent?
Woo, man.
Woo!
Not there at the end, but pretty good show again.
Yeah. Well, we got our friend Brett Suggs in here. Dylan, you want to have a few words?
Sure, Brett, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
A lot of fun watching you race, and I looked through the comment section. You were one of the guys that corrected Mike and I about the top three. We got a little confused having some fun tonight, but what a race there. I thought you maybe had a little bit of a bumper on the back of Matt there on the final restart going into turn one.
Yeah, I was just going to try to get to his tail. Definitely didn't want to cause either of us to spin, because we would have both went to the back. So didn't want that to happen. But, I mean, he had a good car. I don't know where he started. I think he started from the pole. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, I mean, I had to start from 10th and definitely had to work for it a little bit harder than I say he would, since, you know, he's kind of pacing the field out front. And with me working my way up through the field, just trying to save at the same time to at least have a shot at a podium. But no, man, still just a super fun race. Super proud to be back on the podium and at least be in contention. You know, past few races we've been pretty deep in the field, so happy to be back up here.
So with the automatic qualifying, you make the top 8, you make the show, but then you're sitting watching the race the entire time. It's probably a tough thing. Do you prefer to get some extra laps in heat racing, or do you want to get the set time and then kick back and relax for a bit?
I mean, just for my sanity, I would prefer to lock in on qualifying just to not have anything to worry about. But at the same time, like you said, the extra laps on track is definitely pays off. And I was joking with my chat the last race here that I wish I ran the LCQ just to kind of see how the car was going to be on a long run. But no, it worked out. I mean, I would much prefer to have the qualifying speed and not have to start so far back in the field. But we're picking it up each and every race, getting it one by one.
Well, it's going to throw you up in the points a little bit. So we got a Christmas break with the TCM Weekly Racing Series. What else is on the go here before the holidays?
Yeah, I mean, just this series, I run about 3 or 4 leagues a week now. So, but this is probably the main priority, since it's such a extensive series, running the same track each and every week, trying to get better at it. But yeah, I mean, the setup was decent tonight. Just got to work on that qualifying, and hopefully we'll be able to start on the pole too and just kind of coast out front.
Well, you got the mic right now. Any family, friends, sponsors, teammates you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, of course, you guys for always making me laugh when I tune into the broadcast. You guys are rocking it, so that's always a pleasure to watch and go back and watch. But shout out to my chat and my stream for watching an intense race up through the field. And as always, my RL sponsors, we got the Custom Matco, Speed Energy Drink, Lake Norman Power Cleaning, Brett Suggs Racing Marketing, and last but not least, Riley Duncan for putting in a lot of work on this setup, making it quick, and the rest of the RBR boys for the support in the back.
10-4, bud. Well, a great finish, finishing second tonight. Can't wait to see you on the 6th. And that is Brett Suggs finishing second tonight. And now we've got our race winner here in the announcement booth, Matthew Barkhouse. Matt, you got a copy?
Got you there.
So you had a lot of action in your rear mirror tonight. Cars flipping over, cars diving deep into the turns. How was this 75-lap race?
It was definitely a lot more intense than I was expecting it to be. Usually there's not that much commotion up front. Most of us are pretty clean up there, and usually sticks. Usually the top 4 or 5 don't really change too much. I've been noticing, and yeah, I definitely wasn't expecting that much commotion behind me, but I'm glad it panned out, and my bumper never got hit too much.
We saw with Chris Ewing and Ryan Messer and Brett Suggs, we saw how important the was on the starts. That kind of worry you going into turn one, figuring, oh, these guys collect each other. They might go right towards me.
Yeah, 100%. This setup was pretty good the first week, and then I over-adjusted on it there last week and made it too free. And just trying to find that fine line and firing off on the restarts. It took a few laps for the setup to kind of come to, and that first little bit there was so free getting in. I really couldn't drive off into turn one very hard, so I was just hoping I'd get enough of a launch that those guys wouldn't do anything too crazy, and it worked out for me in the end. The setup came to, and all I do at the end was just mind the gap there, and I was able to open it up a bit.
You should be at the front of the field again in the points along with Ashton Tucker. How does that feel going towards the Christmas break that you've got yourself a little bit of a cushion here in this weekly racing series?
Definitely a great feeling, but these guys are getting faster and faster, and with this open setup, there's no time to really just run the same setup. You got to adjust every week and stay on top of it, because pretty soon you may have a setup that may be the top of the board one week, but next week it could be a fourth place car for all you know.
Well, we can't wait to see you coming up on the 6th of January of the new year. But right now, microphone, any family, friends, sponsors you want to say hey to?
Yeah, sure. All the same guys that always watch. I got to give a shout out to Ryan and Stiers there. They're part of our team. That's kind of working together on it, working to build setups, and they made a race, which is great for them, and they're getting faster every week. And of course, Keith there, the Rev guy that's here with us every week as well. We're having lots of fun here trying to build setups, and Xander Sign Group, R&R Kinsmans, McDonald Motive, Celtic Air Services, or Helicopter Tours. They're doing Christmas stuff this winter. If you guys want to get some tour packages there, they have great deals on. But other than that, you guys are putting the stuff on. I can't wait to come back after Christmas and run that doubleheader.
Fantastic, buddy. Happy holidays, and we'll see you then. Matthew Barkhouse getting the big W tonight here on Vidane TV and Tim's Corner Motorsports. Man, what a race there, Tim Terry. You're up here in the announcer booth.
Yeah, but we got one more interview tonight. We finally got the antennas crossed to get Ashton Tucker out from the woods. Mike James, you want to interview last week's winner, third place finisher this week?
For sure. Ashton, you got a copy?
Yep.
Hey, record 32. Ashton, you had a great run tonight. Kind of almost slid to the back. You must have been a little bit relieved when you seen Ewing and Messer go to the rear. It really opened the door for you. But take us through tonight. You know, you qualified on the top of the board there. You didn't get to see a lot of action as you missed the heat races there. But when you entered the race, how did it all go through?
Yeah, no, we had a good qualifying run, but kind of missed her on the race setup, so it wasn't where I needed to be. But the one and that other lad got together, so it helped me out some and snapped by for the third.
We got kind of a foreshadow of this season so far. Yourself and Matthew Barkhouse in race number 1. You had a lot of clean air in that race, and then in number 2, you took the big win, and now another podium finish. So that's going to put you on close to the top of the points, following with Matthew Barkhouse and Suggs and the boys. You looking forward to the doubleheader coming up in January?
Oh yeah, the doubleheader should be interesting. Hopefully have a good run, but need to work on the setup a little and get some more speed to see if I can start up front more often and get out front.
So I've been told you got a bit of real racing in this past summer. Take us through what was your summer season like this past 2020?
Oh, summer season, it was a pretty good season. It was probably one of our better years for sure. Got a couple wins and a few seconds, but all in all, it was a pretty good year in the real racing.
All of us looking forward to 2021. Hopefully see you on the real racetrack. But definitely congratulations from all of us here in the booth on your big start here in the beginning of the TCM League. Anybody on the car you want to thank or family and friends?
Oh, no, I'm good.
You don't want to thank anybody?
No, don't do. No.
Not even your mother?
No. Very good.
Ashton Tucker, congratulations, bud, man. Look forward to watching you put on another show. So we'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right, thanks.
Well, there you have it, boys. Ashton Tucker, what a show he's been putting on the last 3 weeks, and be interesting to see what transpires in that doubleheader, boys.
He was pretty coy there with saying that he had a good summer. He was probably the most consistent driver in the Maritimes this summer. He had a fantastic 2020. Yeah, just a great show. Chatting with my buddy Chris Ewing, he was telling me, Mike, he has the computer spotter. Computer told him I'm clear, and then he got into the tangly situation that he got into. And he also wants to send out his thoughts and prayers for the families of the lost fishermen near Digby here in Nova Scotia. An absolute tragedy before the holidays. So I want to thank Chris for sending those, and my condolences as well to any family members watching tonight of the tragedy there on the French shore here in Nova Scotia.
Indeed, our thoughts and prayers are with them. But that's going to wrap it up here for this evening. Paul is going to head over and do the Cup Series show. So if you're watching up at ANTV, be sure to head over and check that out. We're back tomorrow night, Eastbound Esports and Tim's Corner Motorsports here for a exciting race. Until then, keep the hammer down. We'll see you at the track.